Hello dear students, welcome to Chaitanya, India's largest exam platform. I am Neeraj Agnihotri, your physics NEET mentor. So today we will be discussing the mock test one, which is very important. But before that, have you registered your score? Score secure. That is the funda. So today we will discuss very important things and wishes you all the very best because you are there for the score exam, which is India's largest scholarship exam, where you will win 2.5 crores cash rewards, 350 crore scholarship, NASA trips, exciting gadgets, and up to 100% scholarship. So don't forget to register. It's very important. Now, so everybody is aware of these things are just waiting for you. So don't forget that don't miss out this opportunity to be there. So best wishes for the score exam, and we'll be doing today mock test. So I'll be just waiting for you all that you must solve the questions when I'll be there, when I'll reflect some questions on there. You must solve and get me the answers very quickly. Done? Now, exam pattern, if you are very new to the channel, subscribe this channel. It will very worthy for you and you will stay updated for each and every whatever we are dealing with the scenarios. So exam pattern everybody is aware of. So just recapitulating this for you, that test type is there, NEET, 120 minutes duration, and question type will be MCQs, 30 physics, 30 chemistry, 30 botany, 30 zoology, and just get this click done for your safety. Physics, chemistry, botany, zoology syllabus is given to you, which is very important for you. Done? Now listen, don't forget, very important, don't forget to register. It's very important for you. Done? Only this is the, what you can say, if you will register, you will get all the benefits with that too. And you will compete with all over India, the national level brains, which will be definitely all India rankers in the single digit ranks. So it's my very advice to you that you should do the best. It's very important. Yes, Anuj. Thanks. So next point is mock test. First we'll be doing today. So I want you should respond very well as if you are sitting in the exam, and don't just don't ignore anything. Focus on the concepts, whatever we will discuss right away. And if you'll do this revision with me by today itself, it will be a very booster for you, very strong booster for you. So agenda of the session is again the same. We'll be having some few of the PYQs, relevant PYQs will be there, and distribution of because I have got the questions, arranged the questions in the mixed pattern. Somewhere you will find the rotational, somewhere you find the work power energy, something like that you will be getting very good way. And you definitely will be discussing some solutions and some shortcut techniques. I'll tell you what shortcut. I will give you the reference. If you find such type of questions, then how to execute that. Now that is very important. You must learn this. Okay. So very high impact formula drill. It's very obvious that we will be doing some formula based points, which we have discussed in the kinematics also, where we were using the 4 formulas, and along with that the laws of motion. Yes. Physics, Anuj, today we will be having the physics discussion. Yes. So next, what will be discussed, as basic concepts in the mechanics. Since we are dealing with the mock test, so I'll be recapitulating some of the few of the fundamentals which are required to us. And after that, how to approach for the numerical analysis. It's very obvious that we'll be having some questions from there, and we'll be noting it down for the numerical analysis also. And calculus method will be definitely there. Somehow we will find integration question or differentiation question, which are very fruitful for you, and also the graphical methods. So definitely we'll be doing, and we will be fixing it up for us. Am I right? So just get prepared for it. Let's start the things now. Very first question on your screen, and what is that? The mock test 01. First question. The question says, for a particle in circular motion, the centripetal acceleration is what? It is less than tangential acceleration. Is it equal to the tangential acceleration or more than the tangential acceleration, or maybe more or less than the tangential acceleration? So this is the very first point, beta, which we will focus on. So let me tell you how to solve this question. See, you know, this is a very fundamental bit. When you draw a circle, then you know centripetal acceleration is acting. I just want to tell you one thing, very important. Note down on your copy. Centripetal acceleration, yes, Anuj, we'll be discussing right away. Very good. So centripetal acceleration, what do we say? Centripetal acceleration means that acceleration which you required while solving the question whenever any curvature of the path is given to you. So whenever any curvature is given to you, so please keep this in your mind that curvature path means direction is changing. If direction is changing, so it means it is having definitely the centripetal acceleration. Yes, Anuj, nice. It's option number D. So how it comes D? Because centripetal acceleration is required to change the direction, and tangential acceleration, we know it is to increase the speed with which it is revoluting or it is describing some circular or some curved path. So tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration, they constitute net acceleration like this. Now I just want to tell you one thing, that when a particle is in circular motion, it means the body is in the motion. Whether speed is constant or not, that doesn't matter. So it means your answer may be, it may be more or what, less than its tangential acceleration. I think idea is very clear. Why? Because there is no relation which correlates centripetal and tangential, because centripetal is specifically meant for the circular path. Am I right? And tangential acceleration only meant for to change the speed, whether to increase or to decrease. Now that is the very first point. So your option number D comes as, Anuj, you can also see I have marked on the very first page as the D option. Am I right? So this is just for your convenience. Yes, Anuj. Now next point we have this question. Now I love this question. It's very nice, very important question. So I want the time you will solve, you will be able to crack the point, how the relative velocity is happening and how to consider all that stuff. Now I just want to tell you how to solve this question. See, he said two blocks A and B, their masses are equal, they are sliding down along the same straight parallel tracks, which is an inclined plane. And this inclination is given to us as 45 degree, and very importantly, beta, mu is given as 0.2 and 0.3 respectively. When t was 0, so when t was 0, A was lying here, B was lying here, and the separation between them was square root of 2. Am I right? Now, the time and the distance from the initial position where the front faces of the blocks come in the line of the line in inclined plane as shown, means we have dropped these bodies along the plane, we just released these bodies, so they have moved like this, and they at some instant t, they have reached to this point. So B has reached to this point in the time t, and A has reached to this point in the time t. So this is our the calculation what we have to deal with right now. So just want to tell you, very simple. You know, beta, when you write YA, displacement of A, when you write displacement of A, am I right? Now, what do we say when we say the displacement at point A? When we say displacement at A, then we write YA is equal to what, beta? It is UAT plus half acceleration of A into what, beta? T square. When you write YB is equal to what, beta? UBT plus half of acceleration of B into what, beta? T square. I think that point is very clear to everyone. And if I say this wording, let me write one more word there, that is Y naught of A, and let me write Y naught of B. Now that is very important. That is very important. So I'll tell you what does it mean. See, when I say YA and YB, YA I simply means this as YA, this as something like YB. So if I mark T0 here, if I mark beta T0 here, if I mark T0 here, and if I mark this y as 0. So y naught of A is what here? It is 0. Am I right? And if I say the displacement of A, so this displacement of A is from here to here and that of B is from here to here. Am I right? So what I mean, when I will take the subtraction, since these are least, so their initial velocities are what? 0. So this is 0, this is what? 0. Am I right? I think idea is very clear. So since if I see the locations, final locations of A and B are what? Equal. Final locations of A and B are what? Equal. So if they are equal, how I can solve? I can equate them. And when I can equate them, so what we are getting? Half AA T square, am I right? This was 0 is equal to half AB T square plus Y of OB. And when you can say Y of OB, it is nothing but what? It is under root 2. This value is what? Under root 2. So when you solve this idea, half AA minus AB into T square as what? Root 2. So my advice to you is, you just solve this question by your own, then you will be able to get this answer. Am I right? So I think this idea is very clear to everyone. So this is very simple. So when you solve this idea, what is the value of acceleration of AA? It will be G sine of given angle is 45 minus what is the angle, what is the value of mu for A? It is 0.2 into what? It is cos 45. You solve this question and value of AB is equal to what? G, it is again sine 45 minus, now this value is what? 0.3. So this is 0.3 cos 45 is equal to some value. Am I right? So when you put that stuff there, you will be getting the value of T. Now it is very, very simple thing. So my advice, sine 45 1 by root 2, 0.2, cos 45 is what? 1 by root 2. So you put this stuff, you will be getting that result, and that answer comes out to be A. A means 2 seconds and distance is 8 root 2. So I just want to share this A root 2 means this distance which you will get. Am I right? This will be the 8 root 2 distance. I think idea is very clear. Why 8 root 2? Because we have taken y is equal to 0 here. So that's why. So I think this point is very, very important, and I think it is very, very clear to you all. Very simple thing. Very simple. Very simple. Idea is very clear. They were leased from there, and y0, t0 marked for A. This was y0 of B, which was at a distance of root 2. So I said just released simultaneously. They have finally reached to this point. So question asked is YA and YB, that is the locations, they are what? The equal. Am I right? YB also means B point location, moved from there to there, but it is like this. Am I right? Like this. That's why I said YA is equal to what? YB, because we are adding something to OB there. So I hope you have understood this question. It was very simple question. We have written the equations. Just put the values since score is heading towards, am I right? And don't forget to register. It is also very, very important. Yes, beta. You just score the exam, get the scholarship done. We will definitely get you on the board. Okay? That this is our topper. Yes. Next point. Next question comes. This question, it's a very good question, very simple. He said, a graph between the kinetic energy and momentum of a particle is plotted as shown in the figure. So what is the mass of the moving particle? What is the mass of the moving particle? How to solve this question? Now see, if you mark this point, because here kinetic energy is given, here momentum is given. So if I mark this point, what is the momentum here? 4. What is the kinetic energy here? It is also given as what? 4. So when you solve this question, what we are getting for it, because we know the formula for kinetic energy is what? P square by what? 2m. P square by what? 2m. So kinetic energy you get 4. Momentum you get what? 4 square by 2. Mass we are to calculate. So we are getting mass is equal to 16 by 8 and I am getting 2. That is my answer. Am I right? So 2 kg is my answer. That is option number B. That is option number beta what? B. So that was the point. Now, next question. It's also a very nice question. See, he said we have kept a solid sphere here. It's a cube and it is being accelerated like in YZ plane, and just want to tell you that this Y is the vertical. This Y is what beta? Vertical. Am I right? So what does it mean when you are writing the force? So first it is given to you what is the velocity. So I just want to write what is the velocity given to you in the question. V is equals to 5t I cap plus what beta? 2t j cap. That is the velocity given to you. So what is the acceleration for it? We know it is dv by dt. So what is beta dv by dt? It will become 5 I cap plus what beta? It is what? 2 j cap. Am I right? So acceleration we get. So when we have to write the force, how about the force? It will be like what beta? It will be like mg, because mass is there, gravity is also acting. Am I right? Plus, and gravity is acting along the, let me write in that way so that we can understand. Gravity is acting in the vertical downward direction. So it is acting along towards j cap. So along x-axis we are writing. So I can write, if you want to write, you can write g and it is like j cap. Am I right? With the j cap. But when you are writing this acceleration, because it was moving in the upward direction with some acceleration, so it is experiencing the pseudo force in the downward direction. So I must write minus because this is for minus j cap, and plus mass into pseudo force as what? Minus a. So what I am writing for the force beta? It is like mg with a minus mg j cap minus m into a cap. What is the value of a cap you determined? 5 I cap plus what beta? It is what? 2 j cap. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. So when we are writing beta force, it is equal to m is outside. It is g. G is nothing but 10. J is there. This become 12 and plus 5. Plus what beta? 5. This is j cap. This is what? I cap. So this is the value of the force. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. So when you solve this question for the magnitude, so this magnitude comes out to be square root 12 square is how much? 144 plus 5 square is what? 25. Since I have calculated the coefficient's magnitude, am I right? So I must be multiplying with the mass, and what is the mass given to me for this? It is 2 kg. So multiplied by 2. So 144 plus 25 is what beta? Square root of 169, which is 13, and 13 twos are 26. So we are getting this result as what? 26 kg as our answer. C option is there. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Yes? Idea is very clear. So this was our question number 4. Now let's move on to next question. Now it's also a very good question. The moment of inertia of semicircular plate of radius r and mass m is about xx dash, which is at an angle theta, through its center will be. Now I just want to tell you, because you have studied the what you call perpendicular axis theorem. The two axes are perpendicular to each other. Am I right? This one is x, this one is y. Am I right? And if you consider one more axis like this, which are at some angle theta here. Am I right? Let you call it as x dash, and let you call it as what beta? Y dash. So this one is like, outward axis is z axis. So I can write iz is equal to what beta? Ix plus what? Iy is equal to what? Ix dash plus y, what is beta? Iy dash. Since it is a disk and we are applying for the the flat body, which is disk, which is a two-dimensional body, So Iz we know for a disk is mr square by 2. Just want to tell you one thing. If you are having a disk like this, whose mass is m, radius is r, so what is the moment of inertia about this axis? It is mr square by 2. If you said, sir, I just want to consider a half of the mass, whose mass is, sir, m by 2. So what is the moment of inertia about this point? Again, its mass is m by 2 and moment of inertia will be about this axis, will be m by 2 into r square by 2. But in this question, this mass is right now given as what, bete? M. It is given as what, bete? M. So that's why I will be keeping not m by 2, but I will be keeping not m by 2, but I will be keeping m, because this disk mass is given to me as a m. So when I will solve this idea, so I am getting 2x is equal to what, bete? 2x dash, means both are equal, because ix and iy are equal and ix dash and iy dash are equal. So I am getting about any axis which is inside the plane of this semicircular disk, it will be having ix dash as what? mr square by 4 as my result. So I think idea is very clear to everyone now. This is very, very simple thing. Very simple thing. Idea is very simple, like how to solve this question. It's very easy. This is 5th question. Now next. Now next question says, two bodies of mass 10 kg and 5 kg, they are moving in the concentric orbits of radii r and r, such there the time periods are same. So then the ratio between their centripetal acceleration is how much? That is our point, how to solve this question. Now see, since it is said the time period are same, so bete, you know centripetal acceleration is asked. So centripetal acceleration is given by which formula, bete? You know it is r omega square. And you know what is the value of omega? You write, you know it is omega is 2 pi by t. You square it, then you are getting what? 4 pi by t square. I think idea is very clear. So let me write the values. Centripetal acceleration for first, centripetal acceleration for second. For first, it will be like, you may write direct like this, you may write the value, or you may write, I will be preferring to write like this. So for me, first is given as what? Capital R, and other is given as what? Small r. So it will be like capital R into omega square by small r into omega square. So this omega square get cancelled, bete. So we are getting r by r as my result. So D is the right answer. Yes, Anuj, great. You are answering very quickly and very intelligently. Nice. So I think idea is very clear to everyone now. This is our 6th question which we have discussed. Very simple, very important. I want you should score and crack the exam. Now listen, next point. Now this is also an amazing question. That question says what? That a particle is there whose mass is m and it is moving with a constant velocity v parallel to x-axis in the xy plane. So he said, what is the angular momentum with respect to origin at any time t? That is the question which they have asked. So when they have asked this question, definitely we have to answer this question. So how to answer? We must be knowing angular momentum. What is angular momentum? It is r cross p. R cross p. P is what? Linear momentum. So when you are writing r cross p, so let me tell you, if I am writing r cross p, so this must be r, this must be p. Am I right? And if you say, if you extend this up, this angle will be theta. Am I right? So r cross p simply means what, bete? rp sin theta. You know na, a cross b, ab sin theta. Am I right? And since it is r cross p, now you can see r cross p is rp sin theta. So let me write something like this. It is r sin theta into p. So where does this r sin theta will act? In this direction. How much? It is r sin theta. P is acting in this direction. So r sin theta here, p here. So where does it is acting? In the inward direction. So I must be writing here because this is x, this is y. Am I right? This is x, this is y. So what is r cross p I am getting? It is inward direction. So inward direction is what? Minus k cap. Minus k cap. So what is the value of r sin theta? If you see the diagram, it is b. So we are getting B, P. P is what? Mass into velocity and minus of K cap beta. So that is the answer for us, which is option number B is there. I think idea is very clear. Yes, it is very simple thing. Very simple thing. Now, see. Question number 7 is over. Now, solve question number 8. Now, this is an amazing question. A rod of mass M, length L, is placed on a smooth floor, pivoted at its center, and gun is mounted at one end of the mass M without a shot. Means it was not having any shot inside it right now, but when we fired, then something has happened. The shot was having the mass m by 10 and it was fired with the velocity v relative to the gun. So I just want to tell you one thing which is very, very important. This wording, velocity v relative to the gun, it is very, very important. Am I right? So if I write velocity of the bullet with respect to the gun is written as velocity of the bullet with respect to earth minus velocity of the gun with respect to the earth. Am I right? Am I right? So velocity of the bullet with respect to gun can be written as velocity of the bullet with respect to earth minus velocity of the gun with respect to the earth. I think idea is very clear. Now listen very carefully. Very carefully. If you are writing velocity of bullet with respect to earth, then it can be written as what, beta? Velocity of bullet with respect to gun plus velocity of the gun with respect to earth. Now I just want to tell you what does this diagram reveals to us. This was the rod and this was pivoted, this point, pivoted, this point, am I right? So what has happened in this case, that we were having a bullet gun here and initially the momentum was 0. That's it. And when momentum initially is 0, then when firing has been done, so you can see the bullet will move in this direction with a speed which we call VBE, that is velocity of bullet with respect to gun. And the gun and this rod will move in the backward direction. They will move in the backward direction. I think idea is very clear. Idea is very clear. Am I right? Because bullet was fired in this direction. Gun which was mounted on this horizontal, what you call the rod, pivoted at the center. When gun is placed here, am I right? And we have fired it, what happened? Bullet will go in this direction and this will move in the backward direction. This is the point which we are focusing on right now. Am I right? So what happens in it, beta? This is the velocity of bullet with respect to gun and this is the velocity of the gun. And since I am having the rod whose mass is m, whose length is what, beta? L. So I will be using this factor right now to solve this question. Initial momentum, angular momentum is what? 0. So let me write the final angular momentum, and I know angular momentum of the bullet can be written as mass of bullet as m into velocity of bullet with respect to earth as E, because we always consider the absolute velocity which we are considering, and the distance from here, it is what? L by 2. Distance from here is what? L by 2. That is very important. And then I know the gun mounted as well as what you call the rod, they will move in the backward direction with an angular velocity what, beta? Omega. So I can see that has moved in this direction and omega has moved in this direction. Am I right? So what has happened in there? So if I am taking this angular momentum as a positive direction, which is clockwise, so I am taking anti-clockwise direction as a negative direction. Choice is all depend upon us. Am I right? What choice we made? So what we are taking the anti-clockwise as a negative. So anti-clockwise direction if I take, then rod is rotating about its center, whose moment of inertia is what, beta? ml square by 12 plus, since you have kept the rod or gun also, and gun was having also the mass what? M. So this become, and where it is placed? At a distance L by 2. So it is like ml square by 2 like this. And how it is rotated? Omega. And one thing very important, beta, The mass of the bullet is m by 10. So I must write m by 10 here. So I think idea is very clear. So I'll finish up this question with you now. I will say velocity of bullet with respect to earth. Since it is given to me velocity v or relative to the gun. So velocity v relative to the gun is towards right side. Am I right? Relative to the gun is towards right side. So I am taking it as positive. That is velocity of bullet with respect to gun. That is towards right side. And gun with respect to what? Earth. Am I right? And if I see the gun is moving in the backward direction. Gun is moving in the backward direction. So if this is omega, gun is moving in the backward direction. So distance here is what? L by 2 and omega with the velocity. It has moved in the backward direction. So this is like minus L by 2 into what beta? Omega. L by 2 into what? Omega. So if I write this value here, then I will be getting m by 10 v minus L by 2 omega into L by 2. So I'm just keeping it there. Am I right? Is equal to ml square by 12 plus ml square by 4 into what? Omega. Into what? Omega. And question was asked, find omega. So I think now every one of you will solve this idea. M by 10, ml square by 3 it will become. You solve this idea by your own. So I want you should get your answer. And this is the structure of this question. So let me rewrite here. M by 10 and what we have written? V minus L by 2 omega and distance is L by 2 is equal to ml square by 12 plus ml square by 4. So this become ml square by 12 plus ml square by 4. Should I write directly ml square by 3 into what beta? Omega. I think idea is very clear. Now you can solve. Bring this like terms to this side and rearrange. Then you will be getting somehow the answer is 6 by 43 V by L. So since I have framed the question, I have framed the equations. So I want you should solve by your own. And the concept was nothing. Bullet was fired. Gun was kept mounted on this what you call the rod. When fired, gun has moved in the backward direction where it was rotated. Am I right? So there we have written bullet with respect to earth and we have written all that stuff related to this. I think idea is very clear to you. Very simple. Nice. So this was the question. That was 8th question. Am I right? And answer we are expecting is 6 by 43 V by L. 6 by 43 V by L. I think idea is very clear. Yes? Done. Now next question. 9th question. 9th question says a body falling vertically downwards under the effect of gravity, it breaks into two parts. When it was falling down, it breaks into two parts. Then he said center of mass of the parts taken together. Am I right? Because one body was falling, it broke into two parts. Am I right? But it was falling vertically down. When it broke because of anything, it is only because of what? Internal forces. And internal forces never shift the center of mass to any direction. So since it was falling under the effect of gravity alone, am I right? So it means when it was falling under the effect of gravity alone, so it means it will not shift in the horizontal direction, but no doubt in the vertical direction it will be shifted in the downward direction because mg is acting, which is the external force. Am I right? mg is acting, which is the external force. And in the horizontal direction there is no force. So center of mass of the system will not be shifted in the either horizontal direction, but only in the vertical direction because of the mg. So that is very simple thing. Now, this question is also very amazing question. Very amazing question. What is that? See, a block of mass m is moving with the velocity u on a smooth horizontal surface towards the wedge like this. Am I right? And it gets mounted on it and it stops somewhere to height h and then it gets back again like this. Am I right? It has moved like this in the upward direction, then get back like this down. Then he said, in this process, the wedge gains a velocity. How much the wedge is going to get the velocity? How much velocity the wedge will gain? Now it is very, very simple thing. How to solve this question? Very simple. See, this is mass m, this is mass m. First thing, and it is given as it is a smooth horizontal surface towards a wedge. It means there is no loss of energy anywhere. There is no loss of energy anywhere. When there is no loss of energy anywhere, and we can think of in this concept that whatever energy has been, because it has moved, this was at rest. When it has moved up to this part, beta, am I right? Let you consider it comes to rest at this height. Then at this instant, this wedge has attained some velocity. Am I right? When it get back again, still this wedge will experience the force, internal force, that is normal action in this direction, and still it will attain some velocity. Then what happens then? What happens then when it goes up and goes down? In this process, what has happened? This wedge will attain some velocity. So can you consider it like it is a sort of collision happening? Am I right? Why? Because when collision is going to happen, what happens? When a body pushes, shape is what? Distorted, deformation done, then reformation done, then again shape of the body become what? The same. So there is no loss of energy when collision has happened. So what I mean to say, I can consider that this block is going to get up, down, something like I am having the block like this. When they are colliding, the shapes are being distorted, and then when they separate, they again gain their shapes. Am I right? So what does I mean? So we know when collision is happening between the identical masses, what do? They just interchange their velocities. So what I can answer for this? This was u, this was at rest, and when this has gone up, this comes down. So the time it will get down to this, it will come to rest, and this will be moving in the horizontal direction with the speed what? With u. So your answer for this question become what? U. I think idea is very simple and it is very clear to you also. Now, next question. Mark the wrong statement. Mark the wrong statement. Nothing is in the state of absolute rest or state of absolute motion. That is very obvious. In one frame, you are at rest. In another frame, you are in the motion. So you can't say absolute rest is ever possible. Now, this is as we said, it is a wrong statement. So magnitude of the displacement is always equal to the distance traveled. It is always equal only if the body is moving in a straight line. But if the body is moving, in some curved path, then what happens on the curved path? What happens on the curved path? That it will cover a more distance always than the displacement. So mark B point is wrong. Let me see this. Magnitude of displacement can never be greater than, that is true. Displacement can never be greater than, but it could be less than or equal to, and equal to only in one condition, when they are moving in the straight line. Am I right? So magnitude of instant velocity is equal to the instantaneous speed. Now I give you this an exercise for you, that is it correct or wrong? Is it correct or not? I am just giving you for you that you should answer this question by your own, that is it correct or not? Am I right? Now, so for this question, our option comes out to be B there, because it can never be there. Am I right? Now let's move on to next question. See, this is just a question of dimensions, and you have studied this earlier also. Am I right? R by L, and you know that when you do the concept dimensions, in that dimensions resistance and inductance are given to you, and when resistance and inductance are given to you, so I we write I is equal to I naught 1 minus e raised to power R by L into T. So this is somehow the one formula which you will study in the class 12, just giving you some reference that it is R by L into T. And R by L into T, and this being a power, this is dimensionless. So T become L by R. Am I right? So L by R got the dimensions of time. And if you make R by L, this becomes a dimension of frequency. So your answer for it become what? R by L as my answer. I think idea is very clear to everyone. I think idea is very clear, but yes, very good. Again, with this question of dimensions, let's move on to next question. What is that? See, a particle undergoes a uniform circular motion about which the point on the plane of the circle will the angular momentum of the particle remains conserved. At which point you consider for a circle for which the angular momentum remains conserved. So I just want to tell you one thing, beta. If you are drawing a point, this is a point, velocity is happening here. Am I right? And if velocity is happening here, and that is for sure at every point, wherever you mark the point, force is always acting toward the center of the circle. Am I right? If you consider any other point, if you say, sir, I want to see this point, how about, can I write the torque? I will say definitely you just write the torque, because this distance is given, force is acting there, then definitely with respect to this point, you can say the torque is acting. Am I right? Then if you say, sir, should I consider a point here, will this torque be acting? If I see the observation from here, I will say, beta, draw the point, this distance is R. So I will say definitely, beta, some force is acting, line of action is there, and that's why some torque is also acting. But he said, if you consider the center of the circle as a point for your reference, then at every point, the velocity you are having, at every point, the force is acting toward the center. Force is acting towards the center. When beta force is acting towards the center, it means what? The line of action of this force is passing through the reference point. So torque is 0. When torque is 0, angular momentum, we can say, is conserved. Idea is very clear? Idea is very clear. It is very, very simple concept. Yes? Yes. Now, it's a great question. Again, what this question says, a ball is projected upwards from the top of the tower with a velocity of 50 meters per second, and it's make an angle 30 degree with the horizontal. The height of the tower is 70 meters. Then he said, after how many seconds from the instant of throwing, it will reach the ground. Very simple question. Ball is projected upwards from the top of the tower. So this is better. Let me draw it here. See, if I draw, this is the top of the tower. I have thrown the body up. Am I right? And I have thrown the body up with a velocity of 50 meters per second. This is 50 meters per second. I have drawn it, and the angle given to me is what? 30 degree. Angle given to me is what? 30 degree. And then it is said the height of the tower is 70 meters. So this height, if I mark y is equal to 0 here, t is equal to 0 here, x is equal to 0 here, this point. Am I right? So I will mark this y as plus 70. Choice depend upon me. I am taking downward direction as positive and upward direction as what? The negative. So when this concept is happening, then what I can say that this body will move like this, land it here. So there I can mark t, which I have to find. X we have to find, no doubt, because in the question it is not asked. But if they ask, and y is definitely better what? Plus 70. So let me write the equation for you so that you can get the answer very quickly. What is the value better here? If you say the diagram is happening here and this one is better 50. So what is the value here? It is 50 cos 30. What is the value here? It is 50 sin 30. It is 50 cos 30. It is what? 50 sin 30. Since you have taken downward as positive, upward as negative, so you must be putting it as what, better? Negative. You must be putting it as what? Negative. Am I right? So I can write the equation y is equal to u sin theta t plus half g t square. I must be putting it as negative. I must be putting it as what? Negative. So let me put all the stuff right now. Y I am having 70 minus, what is the value of this? 50. 30 sin 30 is what? 25. Sorry, beta, sine that is 1 by 2. And 50 of 1 by 2 is what? It is 25. So minus 25t plus half g is what? 10 into what, beta? T square. 2 5s are 10. So divide the whole thing by 5. So we are getting t square. Am I right? Then minus 5t, 70 is what? 14 plus 14 is equal to what? 0. So if you solve, you are getting t square. Am I right? Then because we want minus 5t there and 17 we want, we can write minus 70 plus 2t plus 14 is equal to what? 0. So I think you can answer t is equal to 7 seconds. Am I right? T is equal to what? 7 seconds is our answer for this question number 14. I think idea is very clear. Now, question number 15. Consider the shown arrangement. Assume all surfaces to be smooth. If n represents the magnitude of normal action between the block and the wedge, then what is the acceleration of mass m that equals? See, because here you can see, beta, this wedge will give normal action in this direction. This block will give the normal action in this direction. Am I right? And if this will give the action in this direction, so this is there, this is there, this is there. Am I right? So this value is what, beta? N. I think idea is very clear. I think idea is very clear. So how do we write this wording? This is there. Now, how do we write this wording? It is, how do we write this wording now? Can you answer? This one is N. This one is what? N. Am I right? So horizontal direction, we are applying the force, that is N dash, just saying for your purpose. Am I right? And this angle, you know, you call this angle as what? Theta. How it comes? Because this is theta, this is 90, this is what? 90 minus theta. If you draw it like this, it is a perpendicular to it. Am I right? This become theta. So this N dash become what? Sin theta. So what is the mass given? M. So what is the acceleration? It is N dash, which is N sin theta by mass M, which is acting towards negative x-axis, which is acting towards the negative x-axis. So that is your answer. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Okay, this was there. I hope you have understood this idea, because this was the wedge. We have drawn it like this, like this. So normal action we were expecting from this block in this direction, and this was there. So this was the, I said N dash, this was N which was acting, and this angle was theta, this was 90, this was 90 minus theta, so this becomes theta. So that is why I am writing it. Am I right? Now, next question. A bullet is fired from the cannon with a velocity of 500 meter per second, and if the angle of projection is 15 degree, g is 10 meter per second square, what is the range? So formula for the range, beta, direct question is asked, sine 2 theta, which is 215 by what? The g. Now put that stuff, you will be getting your result. That is 500 square, am I right? Then is what? Into sine 30, g is what? 10. You put the stuff, you will be getting your result. I think idea is very clear. Done. The vectors 5i plus 8j and 2i, they are added. They are what? Added. What is the magnitude of the sum? So when you add 5i cap, when you add 5i cap plus 8j cap plus 2i cap plus 7j cap. What is 5i cap plus 2i cap? This becomes 7i cap. What is 8j cap plus 7j cap? It is how much? 15j cap. Am I right? J cap, 5i cap, 7j cap. So he said, what is the value of the magnitude of this vector? You call it as r. So when you are calculating r vector, beta, it comes out to be square root of 7 square plus what? 15 square. What is 15 square? 225. 225 plus 7 is what? 7 square is what? 49. When you add 225 plus 49, it comes out to be 274 as your answer. I hope you have understood this idea. Very simple thing. That was your question number 17. Am I right? Yes. Nice. It is very, very good. And don't forget, 17 questions we have discussed. Don't forget to register. Score is very important to secure your rank to compete with the Indian national topmost rankers, which you will find that they have appeared in the score exam. They hadn't missed their scholarships. Very important. Now, next question. Question number 18. Find the minimum value of M. This so that to be placed on 20 kg so that the system remain at rest. So this remain at rest means 10 G is acting in the downward direction. 10 G is acting in the downward direction. 10 G is acting in the downward direction. Tension is acting in the upward direction. There also the tension is acting. So friction is definitely acting in this direction. So what I can write for this result? I can write for this result that T is equal to, what is the total normal action I can write here? It is 20 plus M. 20 plus M as total mass to be considered into gravity. But since friction is also acting, because friction is acting in this direction, coefficient of friction is given to you. So I have to multiply with the 0.25. I have to multiply it with the 0.25. So this becomes 0.25. And this T is given to you as what? 10 G. So G get cancelled. This is 0.25 by 20 become 1 by 4. This become 40 is equal to what? 20 plus M. So I am getting my M as what? 20 kg as the answer. So this is the 20 kg as my answer. I hope you have understood this idea. It is very, very important. See, question number 19. Question number 19 says that two vectors are there. F1 is 2i cap plus 5k cap. F2 is 3j cap and 4k cap. So let me write this first. F1 as 2i cap plus 5k cap. Let me write F2 now. It is 3i cap plus 4k cap. So what do we write? He said, what is the scalar product? Scalar product means what? F1 dot F2. What is F1 dot F2? It is 2i plus what? 5k dot 3i plus what? 4k. You know, I dot I, j dot j, k dot k, 1. I dot j, j dot k, k dot I, 0. Am I right? So this is I dot I as 1. Let me check. It was 3j cap. It is 3j cap. So what is I dot j? It is 0. What is I dot k? It is 0. What is k dot j? It is 0. But k dot k is 1. So coefficients of these two factors will get multiplied and we are getting 20 as my option. That is option number D. I think idea is very clear to everyone. Very simple thing. Very important, very simple and very informative for you if you are solving these questions right away, and that will be benefited when you have registered for the score. It is very, very important. Nice. Now next question. Question number 20. A constant torque is given to me, is acting, which is 1000 Newton meter, and it turns the wheel whose moment of inertia is given 200 kilogram meter square, and passing through its center, wheel is at rest initially. Then what is the angular velocity after 3 seconds? So I alpha is torque. There you calculate alpha. What is the value of torque given to you in this question? 1000. What is the value of moment of inertia is given to you in this question? It is 200. Am I right? So this get cancelled. So you are getting 5 radian per second square. And he asked what is the angular velocity after 3 seconds. So formula you know, omega is equal to omega naught plus what? Alpha t. He said initially starts from rest. So omega naught is 0. Alpha is what? Angular acceleration, which is given as 5. T is given as 3. So you are getting your final answer as D as 15. As what? 15 radian per second. 15 radian per second. I think idea is very clear to everyone. All right. Now, next point there comes. See, question number 21. It's also very amazing. Seconds hand. The time you say seconds hand, it means time period is 60 seconds. Am I right? It has a length, how much? 6 centimeter. speed of that tip and magnitude of difference in the velocities of it at any two perpendicular positions will be respectively what? Now see how to solve this question. Very simple. Seconds hand of a watch has 6 centimeter length. Seconds hand means 60 seconds the time period of rotation. What is the speed of the tip? We have to find. We know what is the speed of the tip. It is nothing but V is equal to L into what? The time. Am I right? Length into time. And when you are writing the speed of the tip, how to write that value? How to write that value? V is equal to L into omega. What is the value of omega? 2 pi by t, and t is given to you as what? 60 seconds. So you are getting L. What is the value of L? It is 6 centimeter. 6 into 2 pi by 60. So this become what today? 2 pi by 10. I just want to tell you that since L we have taken in centimeter, so it become centimeter per second. It is 2 pi by 10. But in the question it is asked millimeter. Very important beta. It is asked millimeter. Am I right? So we must be expecting our answer in terms of millimeter. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeter. So I can write the value in 10 centimeter as 10 millimeter. 10 get cancelled. So it get 2 pi millimeter per second as the velocity of the tip. And you do know about this. When a body rotates perpendicularly, the angle comes out to be 90 degree. Am I right? The angle comes out to be 90 degree, and the magnitude of the change in velocity is 2v sine 45. Am I right? Because theta was 90 and this theta was 90. There we write theta by 2. There we write theta by 2, which is what? 45. So this become 2 into 2 pi sine 45 1 by root 2. So your answer is getting what? 2 root 2 pi seconds, because this root 2 goes there, 2 root 2 pi seconds. That is the question number 21. Done? Idea is very clear. Very simple thing, like how to solve this, tackle this. The very important thing, the question was very simple, don't get stuck with the units. Units are very important. Now next. It is also very important question and very simple question. He asked 3 blocks of masses M1, M2, M3. They are connected by a massless strings as shown, and they are pulled with a force of 40 Newton. So this force is 40 Newton. Mass M1 is given to you 10 kg, mass M2 is given to you 6 kg, and mass M3 is given to you 4 kg. So he said the tension T2 will be. So I think this one is, you mark it as T1 because he said T1 is, T3 is what? 40 Newton. T3 is what? 40 Newton. So this is what he is asking. And if it is T3, in that value it will be T2, that value it will be T1. Okay. You may draw the diagram also, that is there. So how to write the answer? I will be writing acceleration. So my pulling force is 40. How much mass I am pulling? 4 plus 10 plus 6, 16 plus 4, 20. So total mass I am pulling is 20. So what acceleration I am getting today? 2 meter per second square. 2 meter per second square is the value which we are getting. Am I right? And when acceleration you are getting 2 meter per second square, now question asked was what was the tension here? So let me draw the diagram for it. I can draw here it is 40. Here it is what T2, mass here is what 4. It is moving here with an acceleration 2. So I can write its equation of motion. This become 40 minus T2, mass 4, acceleration is 2. So I am getting T2 as how much? 40 minus 8, which is 32. So I am getting T2 as what 32 as my answer. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. It is very simple thing, very simple technique, that we have applied the force 40 and we were expecting to calculate T2 here. So we have written the equation of motion. This force 40 opposing force T2 is equal to mass into acceleration of the system, which is ma. I think idea is very simple. This way we can solve this question. Now next question. The units of angular momentum are, what is angular momentum? L, it is basically mvr That is basically MVR, am I right? And when you write its units, it becomes kilogram meter square per second. So how do I get? I want to tell you, kilogram meter square per second square not coming. Joule per second, it will be joule. We know what is the dimensional formula for the joule. It will units for the joule, kilogram meter square per second square. Am I right? Divided by second, if you do, it become per second cube. So if you go for joule second, which is kilogram meter square per second square into second, so this 1 second will cancel out, and you will be getting the units for L, which is kilogram meter square per second as the result. I think idea is very clear to everyone, bete. I think idea is very clear and it is very simple also. Am I right? Now, question number 24. This is a rocket can go vertically upwards in the Earth's atmosphere because why rocket is going up? Because you have studied rocket propulsion concept also. Am I right? It is lighter than air? No. If it is lighter than air, how can we launch? Am I right? Of gravitational pull of the sun? No. If gravitational pull of sun is there, then we will be there in the sun also. Am I right? So it has the fan which displaces more air per unit time than the weight of the rocket. So rocket, if you see the rocket and check their fans, whether it's working or not, but if you see the force exerted by the rocket gases, because if you are having the gases which are giving the thrust to the rocket for its motion, so your answer for this question is force exerted on the rocket by the gases. Am I right? That is the point. Now, question number 25. So this is a question from the units and dimension. So I have taken that value so that you can understand this idea in a very good way. So just see how to solve this question. 1 joule is given to you and you have to convert into a new system of unit whose units are 10 kg, 10 meter and 1 minute, which is 60 seconds. So just I want to write so that I can understand in a good way. So I want to write this in the units also. It is 1 kilogram meter square by second square. I have just written the units, beta. Okay, just written the units. So now I will be writing question mark 10 kilogram. So 10 kilogram, what is the power of kilogram here? 1. So I must be writing 10 kilogram raised to power 1. Am I right? Because when we say the units are being changed, then there is no change. When what you call the system of units is changed, then their behavior or the nature of the physical quantity never changes. So whatever the dimensions the physical quantity is having in one unit, the same dimensions will be having the other. So it is like kilogram, this is also kilogram, this is meter square. So this is 10 meter square by second square. So this is what beta 60 second square. So what I mean to say that if I want this stuff, I want this question mark to be solved. So I have to tackle this up. How can I tackle? 1 kilogram meter square by second square is equal to what? Question mark I have to calculate, and I will bring all that stuff to the down so that I can get my result. This is 10 kg and this is that value 10 meter square. Am I right? And that value to be multiplied as 60 second square. So question mark you can calculate. I think idea is very simple and it is very, very clear to everyone. Am I right? Is it clear to everyone? Yes. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone how we have solved this question? We have written 1 joule with the units. 1 kilogram, split this kilogram into 1 kilogram meter square per second square, because joule dimensional formula is m1L2 T minus 2, and if we are writing its units, you can write kilogram power 1, length is for meter square, time is for second square. You can write it like this and then you can answer this question. Am I right? Now, next question there comes. Question given as 3 weights W, 2W, 3W. They are connected to an ideal springs. Am I right? So this is there. They were connected, but the different weights were connected. W, 2W and what beta? PW. So it was connected just like this, and then we dropped. When we dropped, they will fall under the effect of gravity alone. When they will fall under the effect of gravity alone, then what happens when they are falling under the effect of gravity alone? Pseudo force will be acting, am I right? Then what happens? What happens? The pseudo force which is acting plus gravity is acting, so net force on acting on all them will be 0, because effective when body is falling under like under the effect of gravity alone, so we can't experience its weight. The body, this body is not going to weigh its weight, because spring is also attached, am I right? So you have attached the body. If it was not moving, W was acting down, spring force was acting up. But when it was this point of suspension is accelerating down, so it will be giving some pseudo force, because now system is accelerating down with an acceleration which is acceleration due to gravity. So every body will be experiencing a pseudo force in the upward direction, so you will be getting that value. So I think idea is very, very clear to everyone. This was your question number 26. Question number 27, beta. We are writing V is equal to what? 180 minus 16x raised to power 1 by 2. Find the acceleration. So I just got this question because I will be writing V dV by dx. V dV by dx. So what is the value of V you have written? 180 minus 16x raised to power 1 by 2. If you are writing differentiation, d by dx of 180 minus 16x raised to power 1 by 2. So what we are writing? 180 minus 16x raised to power 1 by 2. Power is what? 1 by 2. 180 minus 16x raised to power what beta? Minus 1 by 2. You know the differentiation, and multiplied by minus 16. You can see they get cancelled. This become what? 8 with the negative side. Then your answer become what? C, which is what? Minus 8 when acceleration is given to you. Am I right? I think the idea which is there, it is very, very important, because acceleration was given beta as a function of x. When acceleration is given as a function of x, then we can write A is equal to V dV by dx. There comes the question number 28. A body is projected horizontally with a velocity 4 from the top of the tower. The velocity of the body after 0.2 second is nearly, so beta, this was the tower. We have projected the body in the horizontal direction with the 4, and it will fall under the effect of gravity alone. And he said time is what beta? 0.7 seconds. Time is what? 0.7 seconds. And we do know in projectile motion, velocity at any instant is given as, if you remember, it was how much? How much it was? VU, am I right? It was U, am I right? And you can write U vector plus A vector T. So what is the direction of U vector acting? You may call it as x-axis, you may call it as positive y-axis. So you will call, sir, it is acting in the horizontal direction, so it is acting, sir, 4i cap. Am I right? 4i cap. And what is the value of acceleration acting? It is 10. Time is given as 0.7 second along j-axis. So I said you may consider this as y-axis, which is j-axis. This is as what? X-axis. So what we are writing for it? We are writing 4i cap plus 7 j cap. So when we are writing its magnitude, it is like what beta? Square root of 4 square plus what beta? 17 square. 7 square. What is 7 square? 49. And what is 4 square? It is, we are getting like 16. So 49 square plus 16 is what? 65. Square root of 65 is what? Around about 8. So your answer comes out to be 8 for the question number 28. I think it is very simple and you have understood these ideas. Very, very important. See. Question number 29. Very simple, very famous question. Because 1 by square root of mu naught epsilon naught is generally the dimensions of velocity. Is generally the dimensions of what? Velocity. Just memorize it. Epsilon naught is called as permittivity. Mu naught is called as permeability. Absolute for the vacuum. And when you write 1 by square root of mu naught epsilon naught, you are getting that as the velocity as your answer. I think idea is very clear. Very simple. Next. Last question. A weightlifter lifts 300 kg from the ground to 2 meter in 3 seconds. So what is the average power? So but power we write work done by time. How much work we have done? 300 kg was there. Gravity was there. In how much time? mgh. How much height we have done it to? By the time. Time is what? 3 seconds. Since it is given as 1960, so I have to assume it to be 9.8. Am I right? So this get cancelled with it. This get 100. So when you are writing 9.8 into is what? 19.6 into 100. So we are getting 1960 watt as the answer to this final question. So this is all about for today's session. Am I right? Just stay focused and must crack this test. It is very, very important for you. And before that, you should register yourself for the exam, score exam. Am I right? Score exam, very important, because you will be competing with all over India, the national rankers you are competing with. Don't miss out this opportunity which Sri Chaitanya Institute has given you. So please subscribe the channel, like, comment, share, and don't forget to put the bell icon so that you should not miss next mock test, which is on Wednesday again, with the more view questions which are very relevant. And if you revise very thoroughly with me, you will be definitely getting some very good ideas to solve the questions very quickly. So the best part is what? Score exam. We are getting 2.5 crores cash rewards, NASA trips, 350 crores scholarship, 100% scholarship, because I told so many times earlier also, when you write this score exam, it will be framed by the faculties who has given all India rank single digits. How many times? You don't know. You never count. Am I right? Because it's been 40 years just competing with that too. So what I want that you should test your knowledge, test your thinking with those faculties which we are being a part of it. Am I right? And don't forget to compete, because they will tell you that how much you should put your efforts, and if you are lagging somewhere, you can come up to us and we will definitely sort out each and everything. But score is very, very, very important. Don't miss out. Done. And no doubt about it that you should like, comment, share and subscribe. It is very, very important. Don't miss out next week's our MT test 2. I'll be discussing that mock test will be there. Again, we'll be discussing more questions. If you have any doubts or queries, you just send your queries to us on this channel and subscribe this. Very important. Subscribe. Link is there. Enrollment form is there with you on the link. Next, don't forget to register 28th of September, one of the finest day for you, and 12th of October. Register now. The link is given to you. If you are not finding anything, just comment to our section. You will be getting each and everything, whatever is important, because don't forget, score means securing rank, securing future. So score is all about national level scholarship exam. It's happening for grades 3 to 11. And right now, we are conducting this Sri Chaitanya Academy, and format is online and offline. And our goal is to give you the best wishes so that you should be next All India ranker. Next, 100% scholarship. India's now out of this, the best part is you are competing with the infinity. Means you will be finding so good students when we are writing the exam, where you are standing, where you want, how much you have to excel. That is the best part of this exam. So you will be competing with the bright test students all over India. It's very, very important. Very important. So eligible all for 3 to 11, online, offline mode. Registration is there. Exam dates, again I'm telling, 28th of September and 12th of October. And today is our 10th of September. So it means you have still enough time to study mechanics of the NEET, which is very, very important. Because once mechanics in physics is done, means you are 100% you are going to be the All India ranker. Could be first or second. that is the only the thing which matters, but nothing else matters. Am I right? So you may take the screenshot. Why to take the screenshot? Just enroll yourself right now, and duration for your exam is what? 120 minutes. Like, comment and share. Follow us on the Instagram, subscribe YouTube channel, join us on the Telegram, and you may find ourselves there on the Google Play and iOS. Am I right? And follow us on the Facebook for all the updates whichever our Sri Chaitanya Institute is going to give you and to support you for your career. And thanks for today's session. If you are having any queries, you can send your queries to us. We'll definitely sort it down and help you to crack the national level exams. God bless you. See you.